Hello everyone, and welcome to NinjagoCast. Welcome back to the dojo. I am Sensei Eljay.
I am Meso.
And I'm Hayley.
And welcome back to NinjagoCast. We are the masters of pod jitsu.
We are the masters of phoning it in, apparently.
Listen,
You sound like
Come on,
me
Eljay,
before
wake
we
up.
started rotating the hosts on TTV.
I was ready to do this 21 minutes ago. I am tired.
Good to know you have such poor stamina when it comes to podcasting.
How dare you? Who's been hosting all of the live streams?
You want to talk tired? I've been freaking standing for like 7 hours.
Whoop-de-freaking do?
You had to click a few buttons, cry more.
Yeah, this is... I really don't want to phone it in now. I want to give it my all. My goodness.
Alright. So thank you all for tuning in to this episode.
I'm
What
sorry.
are we going to be talking about today, Sensei Elj?
We're going to be talking about the next 2 episodes of Ninjago. Season 9, Season 10, who knows anymore? It's Hunted. It's episode 90, 2 Lies, 1 Truth. 91, The Weakest Link.
Woo. Alrighty.
Alright, let's see if my usual recap will energize me.
Please.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and start with, of course, episode 90, 2 Lies, 1 Truth. That's... okay. So the episode starts off in the dragon folk. They find their compatriots all tied up in the ninja's usual kryptonite, that being chains, and all that went about as well as you'd expect. So they move forward, and we find out that, of course, yes, Mistake, I don't care. She's able to shape shift, and she put on her woo face. She talked about all the different faces she can do. She explained that she's an Oni. That's not to suggest that she wouldn't destroy everything, just don't get on her bad side.
Nice.
Meanwhile, we see the inside of the Cryptarium. We see all of the people that we like and partially dislike. Hi, Misako. Or Mistako. I don't know what your name is. I confuse you with the other old lady. For whatever reason, she's the only one in a cage with somebody else. She's the only person in a 2-person cage. Everyone else has their own. And she talks to Dareth. Sorry, not Dareth. Hunter guy.
Ronan.
Yeah, him too. So, Ronan's there. We see him, and then we cut back to the villains. The villains are concocting a plan. And then we cut back to the Oni and Dragon realm, and we see that the ninja are fighting over resources, mainly that of liquids. But don't worry, because we have faith in a cactus. It's the quenchiest. Meanwhile, we see young Wu, Teen Wu, angsting out with not teen, partially teen, older teen Cole. And they have a brief discussion about things. Wu doesn't really know where the dragon armor is. But they don't have much time to converse because they have got to get on the run. That's right, antics are ensuing and a chase has begun. The bad guys have caught up and things are just crazy. It's just like, oh, this is pod racing, guys. Then, all of a sudden, there's a dragon. It's an ice dragon, which we're probably not going to get in the set. It was just sitting there and they just kind of ran across it. And so it's doing its dragon thing. And they managed to veer into this kind of weird ravine place. And it's still a chase. It's basically the pod racing chase from the Phantom Menace. So, antics ensue. Things happen. The ninja get away. And it's nighttime. And they find a boundary line. And it on the other side is apparently the realm of the Oni. And yada yada. They were told not to go over there, but they're going over there anyway. So they go over there against many better judgments. Meanwhile, we find that, oh gosh, what's her name? The quiet one. Her. She's, back. She's looking for Garmadon. She's like, hey, Garmadon, where are you? Garmadon pops up. He's like, hey, I'm back. You want to be my daughter now? Okay! And so now they're father and daughter.
And that was all that happened in that
That's all that happened in that scene.
That's all that happened. So anyway, the ninja, meanwhile, find a city. City of the Oni. And they find, more importantly, no one is there. And so Faith is like freaking out. It's like, there's no one here. The dragon armor. Wah! But don't worry. They find a giant map on the back of a door. And that's where the golden armor is supposed to be. The dragon armor. Whoopsie. Meanwhile, we see that people, the enemies in the normal realm, are patrolling the streets. And Dareth's freaking out. But don't worry. He's got it under control. He's the best character. And, of course, the bad guys are encroaching. Antics continue to ensue. And it essentially ends with Harumi being captured by the good guys. And that's where the that's where the episode ends.
Finally, a big W for the heroes.
Yay.
Or so it seems. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
So pretty much, there continues to be a recurring theme with these episodes, which we're probably gonna touch more on later, where it's like the real world stuff, a lot of interesting plot related happenings go down, and the Oni and the Dragon Realm stuff is okay. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
I have no complaints, and at the same time, nothing really interesting happens. There's a prolonged chase sequence, and they find the Oni city, but the plot really doesn't move along all that much. The most interesting things are twofold. Number one, Mistake being an Oni. How about that? That's interesting, huh? She's like
It's a pretty big deal.
She's like either one of the only good Oni or the only good Oni who came over a long time ago.
She was the only good Oni.
Yeah, she basically fell in love with the world of Ninjago and was like, you know what? I'm going to stay here and I'm going to help protect this place. So all these years she's been basically working undercover. And what do you think? Do you think Wu ever knew that she was an Oni or not?
Ooh. I want to say yes because she mentioned, how do you know, like, we've been alive so long? So they would have to know that. But I don't know if they actually... Oof, that's a hard question. I'm sure we're going to find out.
Yeah, she drops one of the clues as to Wu and Garmadon's aging, which is, I guess, that Oni blood can sustain your life.
Yeah.
Is that what she said? Like, it keeps you alive
Yeah.
longer? Okay.
Keeps them alive so long, yeah.
But that was basically the gist of that conversation. She is good, supposedly. I believe her, though. I don't think they'd make her a villain. And she has a bunch of convenient Deus Ex Machina powers. Like she. So that's nice. And the other big thing that merits discussion is Garmadon. Because he has this whole diatribe. Now, Hayley, you took a bunch of notes on what exactly he said. So relay it.
He, that was a pretty big moment for Garmadon. It was the first time we kind of saw some of his weaknesses. He was very vulnerable in that scene. It was the first time we kind of saw him like that. The major thing is that we found out that Garmadon actually has not reached his true potential. That has been confirmed. The reason is because Lloyd is still alive. So
Indeed.
He has to destroy Lloyd or kill Lloyd in order to reach his true potential. But the reason he wants to do so is because he wants his father's land to survive threat that he saw in the departed realm. And he didn't go much farther to saying what exactly he saw. He described it as a darkness or everlasting night.
That frightens even me.
Mm-hmm.
So, gotta set up those future villains.
Oh, yeah.
It's very unclear if he's talking about the Oni, ? Or some other malevolent force. But basically, in his own twisted, warped mindset, he wants to be as powerful as he can to defend Ninjago from this darkness that he saw in the departed realm. And to be as powerful as he can, that means, well, it's got to go. See ya.
Yeah.
See ya.
What's also very interesting, along with the words that he chose, Faith also chose very similar words when describing the Oni. She says they are like nightfall, consuming darkness. Are they talking about the same thing? It seems likely, but I don't know what the Oni would be doing in the departed realm.
Yeah, I mean,
they're like
kind of
following the first Benjutsu master to the departed world. But
maybe,
yeah,
because they've kind of bounced from their homeland. No one knows where they are. Could they have gone there? Shrug.
But yeah, hopefully we'll find out more about that. I'm sure we will.
I mean, I really like that scene because it was one of the first times that New Garmadon has actually got to have like an acting range. So he kind of walked through all the cycles. He was like mopey about what he saw in the departed realm. Then he was all like, "I'm gonna kill you, Harumi," and she was like, "Do it." And then he was like, "No, I'm not gonna do it. You're my daughter now. Yeah, I'm happy.
Yay.
Find my son," and all of that. So overall, that was a good scene. Although, it still makes me wonder what they're doing with Harumi's character, because she just so much for that regret that I hoped they were going to show that one episode. She is not even doubling; she's like tripling down on the evil, 100%. Like, yes, adopt me as your evil daughter, Garmadon, so we can be an evil family doing evil things.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that more next episode, because then she comes face to face with Lloyd, and we'll see that she has absolutely no compassion left for Mr. Greenbean.
Totally.
But yeah.
So as far as the Oni and the Dragon Realm stuff,
yeah,
Eljay, do you like share this kind of overall ambivalence towards this subplot, or is it just me? What?
My gut reaction, my knee-jerk reaction was say I share a general ambivalence toward the show, but that I don't actually think that.
Nice. That would have been funny.
I know. I'll be perfectly honest. I'm not too engaged with either side, and it's simply because both sides have to kind of divide time. And it just doesn't feel like things are really progressing. I feel like we're still in early story stage, but we're 2 episodes away from... we're about 3 or so.
We're 3 episodes away from the end of the season.
Yeah. So...
Yeah.
They got to do something. Yeah. I can't imagine this not ending on another cliffhanger that we then have to wait for another season to see.
Oh, God.
So that's...
Right. Tommy Anderson's pretty much already confirmed that season 10 will carry on the same story.
So I am not...
Or an extension of the story.
I'm not too engaged with either side.
Sure, there'll be some things that will close. Yeah. Well, we know probably for a fact that the realm of Dragon and Oni will come to a close, but we can pretty much predict how that's going to end. It's the realm of Ninjago that I have absolutely no idea how they could ever close the door on that. Mainly because there's so many factors that are in play right now. And we have 3 episodes left, which about give half an episode for all that. That's like an episode and a half of screen time for that realm. So, there's not much they can do.
The concerns about the divided screen time are definitely proving valid the further we go.
Unfortunately.
And it's the kind of thing that I didn't really pick up on in the first few recordings we did. I was just kind of like, this is good. I have not much to say about it, but this is good. But looking back at everything, there's a reason why I have nothing to say. It's because there's really nothing to say. Nothing's really happening. It's just a series of well-choreographed, mostly prolonged chase or action sequences in the desert with dragons and cars and buggies and pod racing, but there's not really anything to talk about.
There's been a little bit of exposition, mostly about Oni. But other than that, it's just been them escaping in both realms and then talking about their plans and then more escaping. A little bit of exposition, more escaping.
And that is even more true for the next episode. It triples down on this concept. So, if you wouldn't mind, Elj, go ahead and give us a recap for 91.
All right. Set up now. Episode 91, The Weakest Link. I won't say anything on that title. So it starts off, Harumi is captured, and they've returned to the original lair that they had. Harumi's like, you think they won't find this place? It doesn't matter. So they're interrogating her, trying to figure out, what's going on, and figure out what they're going to do. She's trying to taunt them. It doesn't really work. It doesn't amount to anything. They do find something that she had on her, and this seems like a grave oversight on her behalf. The mask of, purple. So they find the mask of purple on her.
Hatred.
You hate it that much? Jeez. So they find the mask on her. And she's like, oh, what are you going to do? You going to use it? And Lloyd's like, no, I'm not going to use it. Which seems
you should.
A little bit of a handicap, but I digress. So they try and figure out what to do, and while they're doing that, we cut back to the Dragon Uni realm, and we see that the dragon people, hunters, I guess, they are at the dividing line between the Oni and Dragon realms. And Iron Doom Man, I forget his name, He's like, hey,
Iron Baron.
Aaron.
yeah, no, this is a barren wasteland. I agree. So they're trying to figure out what to do, and Iron Baron is like, yeah, let's go ahead and cross the line, and puts up an act because apparently he's been like manipulating them the entire time. So anyway, they go across. Meanwhile, we see the ninja are waking up. They're trying to figure out what to do, and haha, guess what? Title reference. They need to learn how to use the chain guns. I'm gonna skip some gifs here. So they need to figure it out. And Iron Lady, I don't remember her name. She's like, all right, I want
Faith.
all of you.
Faith.
I have no faith I'm gonna remember her name. So then she's
Heavy
like,
metal.
you need to go ahead and all learn how to do this thing. And given that chains are the kryptonite of the ninja, they all subsequently fail horribly, except for Zane, because Zane is like
Yeah.
third best character. So then we have angsty Teen Woo, who's like, I don't think I can do this. By the way, Kai, where do we get so many of these things? And Kai's like, it doesn't matter, dude. We're not going to explain that. I figured we only had one, but we actually have like 5. So anyway, just man up a little bit. Have some confidence. Huh? You mean a jerk like you? No, I mean be confident, okay? And he gets it. He nails it. No issue. So they're back on the run. They find a dragon. They're like, hey, let's have Woo ride the dragon for whatever freaking reason. That seems like a productive use of our time. So they chain
He
the
needs
dragon.
to practice, dude. He needs to practice his protagonist powers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's my job. So they chain the dragon. He gets on the dragon. All is well with the world. He falls off the dragon. There's this fake death scare. It's like, oh no, he's falling. He's fine. Dragon gets
He
away.
takes like no fall
Gotta
damage,
have faith.
but
Gotta have
actually
faith.
falling.
So meanwhile, back in Ninjago land, they're trying to figure out what to do. And the plan basically comes together as Skylar can absorb Garmadon's power to control the mech. And Mistako, she just decides, here, don't worry, I'm going to go ahead and shapeshift into Harumi and get rid of my annoying voice. It sounds like I have a tumor growing out of my esophagus. And so she's going to act as Harumi, take Amber Lady over to Garmadon, have Amber Lady touch Garmadon, and then control the giant mech. So meanwhile, back in the Dragon and Oni realm, they're all standing around, kind of just doing nothing, trying to figure out where to go. Well, all of a sudden, the iron blacksmiths, they catch up, and it's really awful, and there's a chase that ensues, along with the antics, and they go through this cave, and it's like, wait, Iron Lady? You're a lady? It's like, yeah, I'm a lady.
Like-
And then the other lady is like, oh no! Smacks into some pillars. So the chase happens. It's pretty cray-cray. And they manage to get away. However, with one significant loss. That's right. Iron Lady. She flies away into the sky, splits the giant mech. Yeah, sorry, not the giant mech.
Diesel knot.
She splits the
Diesel knot.
The diesel knot.
The diesel knot.
the gas radiator. It splits in half, so I guess the front part's faster now. And the ninja managed to get away. Meanwhile, over in the Dragon Realm, I'm just going to go ahead and
Yay.
sit on this gif of Dareth basically being the best character in the show. We're going to do this for
It's
about...
perfectly looped the gif. I'm so happy about it.
So what these two are going to do, they're going to be quiet for about 10 seconds as we let this play in all its glory. Beautiful. So anyway, he's rocking out to some sweet jams, doing a little bit of air guitar, stoner stuff. Meanwhile, Harumi's like, hey, come on over here. And Dareth's like, I'm not going to fall for your tricks, but he comes on over anyway. Hey, put the gag back in your mouth. And Harumi's like, hey, Garmadon can give you ultimate power. And Dareth's like, yeah, I'm not falling for that trick. Doesn't matter, though. Harumi manages to get the upper hand on the best character. And it's just because Dareth let her. Okay? And meanwhile, let me see. Mitako is like, hey, I found Amber Lady. And
Kodo.
Ultraviolet goes, hey, don't let her touch you. She has the power of Amber. And Mistakey is like, hey, whoa, he knows that. But Garmadon's like, hey, whoa, I didn't know that. You almost let her touch me. You idiot. Why would you do that? And then Mistakey's like, do you know who I am? I am your subordinate. I am not insubordinate. But then real Harumi's like, she's insubordinate. I'm back, and that's where the episode ends.
Dun dun dun.
I think that might have been your best recap ever. I think so. Better than the finale, even.
Oh my gosh. You just gotta be this tired every single time we do NinjagoCast from now on, Eljay.
Well done.
No.
Good job. No.
Talk about it while I hydrate.
All right.
All right.
So this episode kind of like perfectly symbolizes my growing complaints. I have but one complaint with this episode, and that is like, oh, I guess Harumi just kind of planned to get captured all along. Am I right in that, Hayley?
Yes.
So much for that big win that the heroes had last time. The whole plan meant nothing. It was all like somehow planned, even though it very obviously wasn't planned for her to be isolated. Everyone kind of got taken out. So how did she plan to get captured? I don't know. Other than that, it was a fine episode. No real complaints. Alternatively, I have no real praises either. It's like a big straight line.
Yep.
Like nothing really noteworthy happened. Another chase scene, more Wu angst, more Iron Baron doing barony things. This continued stalemate between like Lloyd. They couldn't even let the whole Skylar plan be teased for the next episode or have it pay off in any way. They end the episode with you knowing it's not going to work out because Harumi's there.
Yeah.
So it's all just like a big zero sum, complete like no progression on any front, except I guess the ninja. They briefly got the diesel knot and then they lost half the diesel knot.
Well, they got the fast part of it, so
They have a new vehicle.
Yeah, they'll be rocketing to the armor now.
Yeah,
So they can reach the armor the next episode.
The best thing to come from this episode is the looping Dareth gif.
Correct.
Oh my gosh.
Great. That is the best thing.
The best thing that come from this episode is Cole talking about cake. That's the best part of this episode.
Who talking about what?
Last one.
Cole talking about cake.
Who talking about
Everything
what?
great in this world, and you make it.
No one talking about nothing. That's what.
Oh my god.
That's the best part of the episode.
No, it's the best part of the episode.
So like,
Actually, no, it's not. The best part of the episode is the chain training.
I don't even have really anything to talk about. I guess if I grasp for straws, I can kind of say, oh, what about what?
There's a comment we just got in the YouTube live chat. Alpha the Me, M-I-I, says, I hope Eljay calls every character Lesser Dareth, and that's exactly what I'm going to do from now on.
Lesser Dareth.
Thank you, Alpha the Me. That's going to happen until the season ends.
Not Dareth.
Alpha the Me, what? The recap's going to get really interesting that way.
Oh, no.
This next batch of recaps, but these recaps is going to be possibly my finest work.
Oh god. All right.
The fun is trying to guess which character he's actually talking about.
You'll have to say like red Lesser Dareth.
Oh, that's what I was
Blue
going to
Lesser
do.
Dareth.
That's exactly what I was going to do.
Angsty Lesser Dareth.
So, like, I guess if I had to just kind of grasp for straws as far as stuff to talk about, I'd say, are they trying to, like, low-key ship Wu and Fate? Because, like, he had that whole diatribe of, like, no, I can't lose you. I have faith that I found you. And I'm like, oh, are they, like, is this a thing? Are they actually doing this?
Granted how old Faith is probably, and that Wu is still younger than all of the ninja. I hope not.
Yeah, she's gonna be really disappointed when he like magically ages up.
But I think she's like kind of like the mentor to them. So she's kind of like mentoring them.
Yeah, I definitely get that vibe. And like I wouldn't necessarily mind it. It's just kind of weird to like give Wu a love interest before he even has a character.
Yeah.
Because, like, at the moment, Wu has no character outside of...
He had a character when he was, like, 6, and now that he's, like, 13, he lost his character.
He's lost it all. Evidently, puberty for him involves regression of character.
He had one sassy line, like, as a teen Wu, completely, and that's when he called Kai cocky.
Yes.
Kind of like saying, you gotta be confident. Well, like, you cocky.
Yeah, that was
what
good.
What are you talking about? Cocky was confident. Yeah.
So my concerns about them doing this to Wu are basically being proven true, but the season isn't over yet. He could still progress and get a good character by the end of it. So I'm not gonna like complain too much.
Yeah. I'm also not looking forward to when he comes back to Ninjago and sees Misako, and he's like,
No,
in
please
his 20s.
don't even make me think about that. Because she was like,
I'm just gonna drop that there.
oh, she's such a bad character. She just needs to die.
Wow.
Garmadon sacrificed
He's got a
himself. Can Misako just sacrifice herself? Just like save the day? Can she be the one who destroys Garmadon with like the power of love or something? And then she like dies somehow?
And then,
I'd accept
I don't
that.
know. Well, she hasn't really done much, so she probably won't do much the rest of the season. So
I guess, like, if we were mentioning something, they're teasing Lloyd maybe wearing the Oni mask.
yeah, that'd be really cool.
Then he can get a bad voice filter too.
I don't know what that would do to him.
Give him a bad voice filter.
Well, yeah, that's known, but
It would make him
his
super
personality
mad.
would change. Yeah,
Yeah,
super.
if it's a mask of hatred, he'd just be like, I hate you, Harumi. You broke my heart. Now I break you, punch. So,
True.
I don't know. Do you have any like observations from your notes worth talking about?
I do. I have one major one.
Okay.
One pretty big one. Based off of the ending, the two-faced. I call this like the two-faced. It's hinted there's a lot of things that could go down. One of them is Skylar, as much as we love her, is expendable. So I'm not sure what they're going to do with her. I mean, absorbing Oni power, I feel like, is a lot more dangerous than they're letting on.
So you think she could actually do it and then somehow get harmed by it?
Yeah, or turn evil, or, kind of get absorbed into the Oni part of it. So, it's not good for Skylar.
They could also just kill her, and that would remove the problem they're having about her being too overpowered for the show.
Yeah, true.
Even though she really hasn't been as of yet.
Kind of suck for Kai. He goes off, comes back, girlfriend's dead.
Yep.
So, yeah. Also, letting this happen to Harumi could be a fatal mistake for her too. This is a pretty big error in her part, so Garmadon might not be forgiving of this. Speaking of Harumi, there's two of her, and if they write the next episode like really, really well for like the first like 5 minutes of that scene, they could try to make us lose track of which Harumi is fake and which one's real, which would be really cool.
So you mean like her and Mistake just start fighting and they're like rolling around and they completely get lost track?
Or they're both trying to convince Garmadon who's real, and they kind of move a bit, and so the one that we think is real is actually the one that is fake, and vice versa. That would be pretty cool. And then the big one. Garmadon mentioned last episode that no. Lloyd mentioned earlier in this episode that his dad doesn't care about Harumi. He's only thirsty for those with power. And the only person in Ninjago who's more powerful than Garmadon is the woman that just walked right in front of him.
Is she more powerful, would you say?
Well, counting that he's got Oni blood and she's an actual Oni, I would hopefully guess that she's more powerful than him. She's probably an immortal being, and he's not.
She certainly had more time to train her powers.
Yeah.
Then again, maybe she's like so old at this point that she's like weakened, and shape-shifting is the only thing she can really do.
Maybe.
Because she hasn't been shown to have any other powers yet.
Yeah. Well, she probably hasn't practiced them in a long time. But I want to see what Garmadon does when he finds out that there's an actual Oni in front of him. Because, well, Kilo knew that she was powerful, so he probably does know that Mistake is an Oni, but he doesn't know that Mistake is like right there. So what is he gonna do?
That's a good question. Kilo knew, so if Garmadon knew, that means that Wu must have known.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably.
But then that even calls... So when would Garmadon have found this out? Let's just think about this realistically.
Well, she was like family friends with the first Spinjitzu master, so I'm sure they found out at like a young age.
Oh, I know, but I mean, Garmadon had a scene with Mistake in episode like 13, when he
Well, I'm
went
sure
to
he
go
did,
get tea, and she was like scared of him.
Yeah. Oh, well. In episode 13, they didn't know that she was an Oni either, so.
Ah! I want to question stuff like that, but I can't.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
all right. I guess that could
Yeah.
be interesting.
We'll see. I feel like that's going to be a major player into how the arc ends in Ninjago. She has probably going to be a big role, but then again, I guess we're going to find out next episode. But
Pretty much 2 more things I'll say in passing, very briefly. Number 1, I thought they were going to briefly do this thing where, like, Dareth would betray everybody to get power. But he didn't end up doing that. He didn't. He was an idiot.
He
and
didn't.
yeah, and Eljay, you're gonna forever torture me, but I'm proud of Dareth for that one moment. I literally grinned ear to ear. I was like, yeah, well, I'm the master of not falling for you, like following your tricks, and then he ended up still freeing her with me. But I was like, yes, Dareth, you're doing what you should be doing.
Oh, just you
But-
wait until next episode
Ha ha
Oh
ha.
my god.
of the
I was actually
NinjagoCast.
watching. Oh boy, I was actually watching Skybound today, and I forgot how great of a character Dareth was in that season. Too bad.
He's
Wow.
great in every season.
Praise!
Yeah.
So what did he do in that season that made you
Well,
like him?
the first episode he was pretty terrible because he was very, very sexist towards Nia.
Oh god.
Like very sexist. It was terrible. But once
Listen,
it got to
we all
like,
have all these characters have moments of weakness. Okay.
yeah, Dareth just has a lot of them.
Okay, that's it. Get off. Get off the show. Bye.
Aw.
He got better, okay?
Wait, I was
He
just
improved.
about to
He
say
grew
that.
as a
I was
character.
just
He
about
has
to say
more character development in his non-existent Lego Pinky than Lloyd has in his entire being.
Wow.
Wow, it looks like he woke up.
There you go.
Listen.
Anyway, Dareth had a great moment in Wishmasters when he was talking about how they were going to save Jay, and he brought up a lot of really good points about how you have to be strategic about it. You can't parade in there because they're going to shoot you out of the sky or they're going to kill Jay. So he did a pretty good job there, and he was one that brought in the Hageman brothers, so that was pretty cool too. Yeah,
Meh,
those
I don't remember anything about Skybound because it doesn't matter.
It's so
Anyway, back to-
incredibly telling when the only sensible person on NinjagoCast is me.
I'm sensible. Fight me.
I have 2 heretics here. One of them doesn't acknowledge the greatness of the greatest character in all of Ninjago, and the other doesn't understand or realize the greatness of the greatest season of Ninjago outside of Skybound. Outside of Rebooted.
Reboot. Sons of Garmadon and Tournament of Elements are better than Skybound. Fight me.
I mean, hey, you know what? You're wrong, and you
Wait
have
till
the
you
right to be
watch
wrong.
Skybound. So many great moments in that. So
You did.
many.
Since when have you become Skybound's #1 fan, Elj?
Since I've been right.
Well,
But
the other thing that I want to mention about this episode is what was I already forgotten? Oh yeah, they keep introducing the dragons and like not matching them with the ninja that is in their set, and that's not a big deal. But it's like they introduced the lightning dragon seemingly only for Wu to try and fail to ride it. But in the set, that's Jay's dragon.
Mhm.
And didn't they make a comment at some point that like, oh, the ninja were gonna get dragons, or was that just kind of presumed?
I think that was kind of presumed. They've introduced all 4 of the elemental dragons plus the wind dragon, which I think was a cool tribute to Morrow. But they've introduced all 4 of them. So depending on like the Firstbourne, they could either all ride the Firstbourne out of the Oni and Dragon realm, or the Firstbourne will control the other 4 to let the other 4 ninja ride them out, and so we get more dragons. But
Fair
the
enough.
4 do exist. We have seen them, so who knows?
Yeah, I'm hoping they bring all the dragons together in a satisfying way for the ending, because so far it's like they just show up and then immediately leave. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, all right, cool.
Cool.
Thanks for contributing.
Yep.
You're welcome.
So honestly, that's kind of it.
There's still a few more points.
What are your points? Bring them up.
Lloyd.
Okay.
Big Lloyd hinted that he might not get his power back, which I think is kind of a big deal for him and for his character.
What character?
Ha ha ha. Um, I mean, we don't really know what his power is. I'm glad that they're not expanding on, I'll get my power back. What power? How do you describe that? But I don't know what he would become if he doesn't have his power.
A master giving advice.
He's still too young for that.
No, he's not.
Now,
Stuff
they
like
also-
this
yeah.
changes you.
Yeah. Speaking of changing, he does need to go through one more transformation that we don't know of yet. So,
Listen, Lloyd's in a pretty weird spot because he had
Yeah.
a good character last season with Harumi, and then this
Mhm.
season he's like, I feel like they're building to something cool with him, but it's going to end one of two ways. He's either going to die, or he's going to change in some way, either becoming a master or taking on a new role, whatever that might be. I don't think we're going to go back to, the awesome green ninja leader of the ninja, can do anything, super cool guy. I think those days are over.
yeah.
I hope they kill him because I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'm totally on
They
board.
never do that. He's like the poster boy for the theme now.
Yeah. Well, if they do kill him, they have a way to bring him back that's in canon. I don't know if they're going to go as far to do that, but
They're talking about bringing him back like Garmadon.
yeah.
Doubt it.
But
Reviving the protagonist through a demonic ritual. I don't think that's gonna go down.
true,
Plus, that would bring back Evil Lloyd.
which would be also pretty cool. Oni Lloyd, but
Perhaps.
because they have good woo, but he's not. I don't know how long he's going to stay young. But
I have two comments from the patron chat. Dark Takanuva says Skybound is the shortest season with just one episode. Changed my mind.
no, he's right. He's 100% right. In canon, according to Jay and Nia, it's 10 episodes long. But
Yes,
to everyone else, it's not. It's not even one episode. It's like, what is it? Like 13 minutes.
that's great.
That's what it is.
And then second place, so how do these dragons relate to the elemental energy dragons, if they do at all? I don't think they
Like, the
do.
elemental dragons that they can like produce out of thin air.
Yeah.
They can't
I
apparently.
think what they're getting at is why can the elemental masters make elemental dragons out of like anything they could make? Why is it dragons? Does it have any relation to actual dragons,
I don't
the
think
realm
so.
of the dragons, or is it just coincidence?
Well, their powers are derived from like the first Benjutsu master, who is part dragon. So I'm sure that's part of it. But they don't have like, they're not physical dragons. I'm sure it's like
Yeah.
a spirit form.
T. Khan says, can they still do that? They can, just like the main group of ninja can still do air jitsu. They just don't,
Stay tuned to Way
Because-
of the Departed.
which is like never happening at this rate. And
Yeah.
even if it does update, it's admittedly non-canon. It's basically the excuse is that if they did it, they'd be too overpowered because they have too much of a grab bag of powers. So they just prefer to have them get by in cool ways, using creativity to write them in new ways. But I don't buy into that personally. I think
Yeah.
that's no good. But that's just me.
Yeah, they gave him all this power and then stripped him of it like instantly.
If you
without
don't
any
want
question.
overpowered characters, then don't make overpowered characters. That's kind
Even
of
Lloyd's
my answer
suffering
to
from
that.
this.
But go on with more
Yeah.
points if you have them.
I want to take a note on the animation. I think a lot of things, the animation, the shots they've been doing are absolutely fantastic. That's just the filmmaker in me. I noticed that the chain guns are super detailed.
Oh, yeah.
My gosh. Kai held it up and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks like it comes straight out of like a Lego movie. How much like it's detailed. The village that they were in and like when they're hiding out looks very similar to the Ninjago movie, but very realistic. So that's pretty cool to see that. The bridge came back from episode 2 of Sons of Garmadon. It was nice to see Harumi in her evil form standing where she was flirting with Lloyd.
Oh yeah.
Let's say something else.
Come on, Hayley. Find the notes. You can do it.
Haha, thank you.
Anytime.
The music is really good this season. Most of the music from the Ninjago realm is reused from the last season or past seasons. For instance, when they were chasing after Mistake Lloyd, it was the opening music to the opening scene to Sons of Garmadon. While in the Dragon realm, most of the chase music is new. So I'm excited to see what that sounds like by itself.
Oh, yeah.
But what I've heard so far is really, really good. Really, really cool sounding music.
And I mean, say what you will about the Dragon Realm. I know the desert wasteland aesthetic isn't for everybody. Cough, cough, var. Cough, cough. But
Yeah.
it is something different for Ninjago. It is variety, and they're presenting it in an interesting and unique way. It's just kind of, for me, it just kind of boils down to cool action sequences.
Yeah. I mean, the chase scenes are kind of getting a little old, but hopefully once we get Firstbourne into the picture, the chase scenes might get a little cooler.
Which should be next episode,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
which
they have to
hopefully-
start wrapping it up.
Yeah. I'm guessing they're going to come back to the actual realm in episode 9 or the 9th episode of the season. But yeah, I'm glad that the entire season doesn't take place in the Dragon Realm, because then it would get like super boring. We still get like Ninjago, but we kind of go back and forth. If it was all desert, then yeah, it would kind of get a little boring. But,
Most definitely.
um,
All right.
Weekend Whip was in it. We got the Weekend Whip officially put back
Oh,
in.
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, just shout out Dareth. Dareth brought back the Weekend Whip.
2 seasons in a row. Gotta
Yep.
get the music cameo.
He should have sung along to it. That would have been even funnier.
Kind of a wasted opportunity, but what can you do?
Yeah. Iron Baron. We got
He's a dude that exists.
He's a dude. We got a lot of information on the Oni in the past, like the episode 90, and we got more information on Iron Baron. Hence, Faith completely freaking out and punching doors. But we learned from Faith once they got to the Oni line, the territory line, that Iron Baron and some of his like most trusted companions went in, and he was the only survivor that came out. Now, does that mean it
The implication is that everybody died.
Yeah, everyone died. But
is it possible he's an Oni? Question mark.
Yeah, he might have come back as an Oni, which would make sense why he's kind of controlling everyone to hunt dragon. Very important when Iron Baron and his gang all came to the Oni line. None of them were scared when they got there. Usually when it comes to that, they're like, oh, we don't want to go in there. We're scared. They're Oni. Instead, they said, we will go in on your command and we'll fight to the death, basically, but by your command. So that means that they are so dedicated to Iron Baron that they are willing to literally die at his feet.
Pretty much.
So the big question is, Faith was taken back. What are the dragon hunters going to do when they hear her tale about Iron Baron?
Revolt! Rebel!
Hopefully.
Join the ninja. Go fight Garmadon.
Well, I don't know about that.
I think they're gonna do it.
That'd be pretty cool. I really hope Faith takes over as the leader, because she's super cool. Of the dragon hunters / whatever they would be when they're not dragon hunters anymore. Another thing about Iron Baron, he might not be an Oni based on the way he's acting, but it's kind of leaning more towards that way. As soon as he found out that the weird little white-haired boy was the son of the first Spinjitzu master, he dropped all interest in heavy metal / Faith, and he went after him, which is very interesting because apparently heavy metal is nothing compared to him, even though she betrayed him, and she's like the most trusted companion of Iron Baron. So that's a huge clue about Iron Baron. But
true enough. I don't know. I just feel like I haven't really been able to get invested in Iron Baron as a villain because it doesn't really do much or have many scenes.
I hope he's an Oni because that would make him really interesting. But
Yeah,
if he's
he
not an Oni,
needs to
then
have something. He needs to
Yeah.
have some kind of gimmick to like make me go, wow, this dude's cool. So far, nothing.
he has a cool voice.
Yeah, it's alright. Hit or miss for me.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was a little tidbit about Iron Baron.
All right, fair enough.
And then finally, one last note. Congratulations to Ninjago for reaching 90 episodes. We're 10 episodes away from the big 100, but we have reached the 90th episode. If you look back on this wonderful show, they shouldn't have gotten past episode 26, but
it has lived
episode
quite an
90.
unnaturally long life for a Lego property.
So, huge congratulations to them.
What do you think they're going to do for the 100th episode?
Well, considering what they have, what they're planning, what they've kind of backed up with this whole Oni and Dragon, 100th episode won't be a finale. They won't make it a time travel unless there's like a mini season. That the 100th episode will be like the finale of a little time travel special, because that would be kind of cool.
No, it wouldn't.
But for 100, either they won't do anything at all, or they will have like a special episode where some weird thing happens and they kind of celebrate that. Don't know what that would entail. I guess we'll have to find. We'll probably have more guesses at the finale of this season. If they
I was saying this to you off air, but what if they just like never get to 100 episodes because they only do specials from this point on? Because the budget gets cut and the theme gets canceled.
That would be tragic.
It'd be hilarious, but yes, very, very, very tragic.
Let's not practice that idea, because
all right, fine.
I would cry into my pillow
Rip.
for many days. Poor Ninjago. But
Poor Ninjago. So, Eljay, what do you think?
Eljay, we haven't heard anything from you besides talking about Dareth and basically talking about Dareth.
What do I think about what?
This episode.
Aww.
This season.
Oh,
Any
this
thoughts?
episode?
Yeah.
It was good. You guys have said
Thank
all
you,
I would say, so I got nothing more to add.
Fair enough. All right. Well, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap that up in that case for this week's episode, or not even this week, just days. We got 3 episodes left. How do you guys want to break it down? Do we want to have a massive 3-episode NinjagoCast, or do we want to try to do one covering 2 episodes and then the finale plus season overview?
I'm gonna tell you right now what we're gonna do, because if we do it as a massive 3-episode season, you're not gonna be happy. So we're going to be doing next episode of NinjagoCast will be the penultimate 2 episodes, and then we're gonna go ahead and do the season finale and season recap.
That sounds like a plan. Out of curiosity, why would I not be happy?
You'll see.
Oh yeah, probably the Dareth recap. All right, fair enough. Well, there you go. Eljay hath decreed our plan.
Correct.
So you can expect 2 NinjagoCast episodes next week to wrap up Hunted.
Woo.
Hopefully it turns around. It's definitely not a bad season. It's just kind of...
It's slow.
It's kind of slow.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's because they're trying to fit 2 Ninjago seasons into one.
Yep.
So they can't go really fast on either of them, or else we're going to be really confused as watchers, or we're going to say, they're moving too fast. So they got to move at an interesting pace that we define as slow.
Exactly right.
Unfortunately, that's the way it has to be.
It's gonna all hinge on the ending.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm planning on download all of these and then edit it so we see what it looks like if all of the Ninjago realm is pulled at the exact same time, just chronological, and then we look and we do the Dragon realm all at the same time and see if it moves at a weird pace, if it's still slow or too fast.
That'll be an interesting experiment.
But just to see what that would look like.
Sons of Garmadon was excellent all throughout. It was like nail-bitingly good every episode, and then it culminated in a pretty weak ending. Hunted has been all right. For most of its run, it might culminate in a really, really good ending. Wouldn't that be a paradigm shift? So fingers
That'd be great.
crossed. And like Mr. E comes back in the 11th hour and is like, "Hey, pay attention to me. I'm a villain again."
Oh boy.
I'm giving up all hope that he's coming back. They haven't hinted towards him.
Yeah, gotta give up hope like Jay.
It's like he was never in the show to begin with. They've
Good.
just stopped mentioning
Yeah.
him completely. That is not good, Eljay. That is bad writing.
Good.
Rewatching Sons of Garmadon is gonna be so painful now. Especially the first 5 episodes.
You just like it because it brings me pain, El.
In this instance, yes.
Oh my god. All right. Well, that'll be all for this episode. You can go ahead and end us out, Eljay.
All right.
You're a trooper, dude.
Anyway, thank you all so very much for listening. I hope you have found some enjoyment from this week's NinjagoCast. Make sure to tune in next time, where it's going to be the single greatest episode of NinjagoCast anyone has ever seen and will ever see.
Oh my god.
If there are any changes or suggestions you may have, feel free to put those down in the comments below. However, in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and take off. This has been NinjagoCast. We have been the Masters of Podjitsu. I have been your sensei, Eljay.
I have been Meso.
And I have been Hayley.
And I am so tired. I'm ready to go.
Go
Or maybe
sleep,
play some
fellas.
PUBG. I don't know. But anyway, thank you all so very much for listening. The dojo is now closed. Have a great day, everyone. Messa, leave the music alone.